And now it's time for the latest exciting episode of Doz's Television Workshop.
Hello and welcome back to Doz's Television Workshop, where today we're looking at this ELU woodworking router. Right, this belongs to a very good friend of mine, Barry. If you've followed the website and you remember the little BSR turntable I did a while ago, he's the chap that made the bare bones sort of plinth for me. So yeah. Right, I don't really know what's wrong with it, so I think we'll start at the basics. What does it say on it? If you're not familiar with these tools, by the way, it's sort of got an electric motor here. We've got an on-off switch. It's sort of got some sort of plunger depth control thing where you sort of move it down. So this motor spins a cutter, which is normally attached to this sort of collet in here, and you sort of move it around and make cut-out shapes and edges on bits of wood and things. Barry is a very skilled chap with one of these. Very skilled chap in general, really. So yeah, we've got this. I bet Barry made that. Look, there's some sort of end stop on it. Anyway, he likes a router, so yeah. First thing I'm going to do. This plug's not looking very satisfactory. You see that on the camera there, but the live pin there, you can see it's at a jaunty angle. So I think the first thing we're just going to do is wick the top off the plug and have a little look therein. And I think we'll change it over anyway. So, right. I think it's of some age because on the front here it says supplied and serviced by Server Tool Company Limited, 140 Eastgate Street, Gloucester, and there's a telephone number on there before we had the extra digit added in, which was sometime in the early 90s. So this thing's getting on a little bit. I've undone the wrong screw, haven't I? I've undone the cord grip there. Never mind, it's all got to come off, so there we go. Right, step number one, it's got a 13 amp fuse in it. We don't like that. So that can come out. Just in case you're watching abroad, UK plugs all have a little cartridge fuse in them. Yeah. Apparently it makes our plugs more safe than perhaps other places in the world. Yeah. There we go. I don't like this plug at all. The wiring's all a bit at a jaunty angle. So, yeah, let's get that out. I don't know how many watts this tool is, but it probably shouldn't have a 13 amp fuse in it. Although it's very, very common, because when you buy a plug in the UK, generally it has a 13 amp fuse fitted, which allows us to pull 3120 watts from our normal 3-pin plug outlet. Right. That's that out. Also, this cable's very squashed. Sometimes you find the cord grip, which is just a strap with 2 screws through it, sometimes actually bites through and then causes the cable to burn out. And you sometimes find you take them out and you just end up with one core hanging out. But yeah, right. So I'm going to throw that away. That's in the bin. So I've got a spare fuse for one day. Maybe. So I am going to choose a 3 amp fuse because I don't suppose this is rated to 3 amps. We can pull, you know, quite a bit of power at 3 amps from our 240 volt supply. I shall dive in my box of plugs. That's a more compliant one. It's not new, but it's got insulated pins on there, so stops you being able to get your fingers behind it and getting electrocuted perhaps when you plug it in. All plugs since early 90s had that, maybe even late 80s. The shrouded pin plug. became part of our British standard there. Right, I don't know what that fuse is. Oh, this is some Chinesium. That can go with the plug. Okay. Do you know what? I think I'll just put it into the not so safe block. Maybe we'll just try it first, just to see see what happens. Right, I'm actually on the lamp limiter, which is probably not a bad idea. So let's come back to refitting the plug when we've finished. Okay, so what have we got? The switch is currently, that's on, that's off. Let's arrange for a bit of power. I'm just going to turn that down. Let's put 100 watt bulb in the dim bulb tester just to try it. I bought some of these the other day. Look, proper Crompton. Well, they're daylight bulbs, but look at that. What a beautiful colour. That's a daylight bulb. Supposedly emulates the sun. Right, we're down at 100 or so volts. We are on. So I shall just wind the voltage all the way down quite slowly. There's 50 odd volts, 100 volts. That bulb's very bright, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, let's try just switching it out and see what happens. Oh dear. That's pulling an awful lot of current. Okay, making a horrible buzzing noise, so yeah. Right, power's off. So, is it free to spin? Appears to be. Okay, so our brushes and etc. will be underneath this top cover here. Let's have a zoom in, shall we? Where are you? Let's just move the camera up. Easier said than done. Come on, there we go. Right. So, is this going to be in the way, I wonder? Let me just nip that out. Two nuts up against one another. Get me another pair of pliers. Oh. In the event of not having a set of spanners in here. Oh. Sorry, Barry, I'll drop your nut. I'll find it in a moment. Right. This seems to want to unthread. Okay, right, we can now see what we're doing. Sort of screwdriver are you going to want? Just a little Phillips sort of arrangement. Right, top coming off. Okay, let's just gently remove this top. I suspect we'll find the brushes etc. inside here. This is a brushed AC motor. Okay, what we got? Ah dear. Okay, so what's happened here is this top bearing here has been spinning in its housing, I think. Hence all this sort of melted plastic that's going on. Okay, so yeah, you can see this plastic here. You can see on the camera there, that is all melted plastic and it's been coming out of the top of that housing. That may be bad news. And you can see that bearing is very discoloured in there. So what I'm going to do, let's just bring the voltage up again and see if it does move or it tries to spin the whole thing. Interesting. Now we are drawing no current because I've got it switched off. Fool. Right. Okay, watch the bearing. Yeah, look, the whole thing is spinning. That is bad news. My goodness, there's some detritus down in the motor as well. What's that? One dreads to think there's something most unpleasant has been caught down in the motor. So we're going to have to take that bearing out. So we really need to move the rotor from the whole motor, I would think. This is not going to be so easy, is it? Right. Let's take this out of here. This should be the brush holder. Actually, looking at that, that might be the top bearing holder complete. Although I'm thinking, no, it's not. It's just a strap that's holding the brush gear in place. All the screws are the same. That's interesting. That's been squashed under that screw as well, where the top cover's been on. That's not so good. Now, whilst you think, oh, this has been spinning in the housing, surely that's going to have written the housing off. We may be able to just bond the new bearing in place. Obviously, we've got to change the bearing. So, we may be able to get away with that. What are the brushes like? Okay, that's the brush sort of holder strap arrangement out. I'm just going to disconnect the brush itself. And we shall fetch it out and have a look. Ooh. It's all a bit stuck in there. You can imagine the dust and stuff that gets into these things. What I actually just want to do is see if I can see the com. So you can see the com in there. So that's a set of brass sort of copper segments. Can you see down in there? Just, oh, it's difficult to see, isn't it? This tube is still in the way. Ah. Let me get this height gauge thing out of the way. Lovely. Okay. Bearing. Commutator. That's where we were. The com. So you can see it in there. And that's where the brushes make contact with the motor itself. Now let's see if we can't just, yeah, you see it's not spinning at all. I'm just spinning the collet. Let's do it up. Oh, it's very, very stiff to turn. Is the com itself damaged anywhere? What I'm looking for is a very burned segment. They're all a bit black and horrible, but I suspect they'll clean up very nicely. Oh, I see, it's solid. Yeah, the com looks okay, so we got away with that. Which play is there in that housing? Yeah, you can see, look, if you watch the outer bearing face there, as I sort of push on it, there's a bucket of slap in there. What we therefore got to worry about is the state of the actual rotor itself. This is going to be a bit of a disassembly job because I've now got to get these screws out the bottom and sort of split the case apart. So look at all the muck falling out of it. Let us disconnect the other brush. So I think what we need to do now is take the bottom of the motor off. I'm just going to take the other strap out, just in case. Hold that other brush in. I do want to get these brushes out and have a look at them. And also we want to put them back in if we manage to get the bearing and it's not all horrific. We can then we can then take that out, and then we put the brushes in after. Otherwise we have to push them back into the holders because it's spring loaded and they're like a carbon brush, but if they're really worn, then we need to see if we can get a new set of brushes for it, as well as a new bearing. Okay, that's out. So I'm not worried about disassembling the motor with the brushes in, it's the reassembly I want to be careful about. Oh, it's pretty much in there. Oh, it's coming. Oh, come on out. There it is. You can see all the rubbish in there. There it is. Yeah, he's pretty well worn out anyway. That's not a good sign, so we're going to need a set of brushes as well by the look of it. Oh, that one's come apart. It fell apart my hand, Your Honour. So, yeah, very short. It's done a few miles, so you can see how that works. It's just a piece of wire there. There's the brush. That connects to the commutator, and the motor spins. Brilliant. That's our nasty bit of plastic. So that wire, by the way, lives in that connector on the top of the motor there, just so we are aware. Right, let's pull the motor apart. If it's been left in this state for very long, well, you may well have damaged some of the windings. So how am I going to get in there to undo those 4 screws? This has to come off somehow. If we undo these 2 handles, does that allow us to drop this out? It's the idea behind it. You sort of plunge it into the wood and it cuts. That's going to be some locking mechanism in there, isn't it? I wonder if we'd undo that all the way. That would help us any. Apparently not. Okay. So how does that attach in there, I wonder? It looks like to be a housing screw. Oh, what have we got in there? Is that a pin? Oh. That could be a roll pin. So it doesn't go all the way through. Yes, it does. How does this one attach, though? So roll pin there. You'd expect there to be a screw in there or something. I think I'm just going to wick this base plate off and have a look under there. Let's move that bulb out of the way before that gets broken. It's not the easiest things in the world to buy anymore, incandescent lamps. Right. Does this piece come away? I think that may well be bonded to there. Ah, but I could now get a screwdriver in down there maybe. What we need is my super long screwdriver, which I'm looking for and I can't see. I shall be right back. Bingo. Right, can we get on those screws? Can you see anything on the camera? You can, that's good. Right. Oh, just about. Not ideal, but I need to somehow get this apart. Looks there's a split collet in the bottom of there as well, so I'm quite sure we're going to come apart or not, but hey. Keep undoing the screws until the thing falls in your lap. Ooh, great big long screw. Right, okay, there's one. Right, that's all 4 screws out of the bottom. Let's see if we can move the case off now. I suspect that bearing is just going to pull out, so... Oh! This may cause for a bit of thuggery. It's probably all been there since the 80s. Oh, it is moving. We are moving. We have movement, look. So, I bet it's that seized up that's stopping it from coming apart now. Okay. Can we split the collet out? Let's have a look at that. So, I'll just undo the chuck sort of nut thing. That's coming away. Doesn't really tell us much, does it? What's underneath these 3 scrolls for a muck? Can we see in there at all? It's going to want a pin spanner on there, aren't we? Just to oh, am I going to be lucky? Or am I just turning the whole motor? I think I'm turning the whole motor, aren't I? Yep. Yes, this is going to be a tricky one. So if I can get a spanner on there, and we can click that round, we might be in with a chance. Let's get the old Fu Kung pliers on there, look. Hold that still without damaging the threads, they're too big. We could get the adjustable spanner on it and really make a horrible job of it. What we really want is a proper spanner. But those are in the garage and it's cold and dark out there and I'm not doing it. Right, okay, that's going to be acceptable, I think. Right, so is this going to allow it to undo? Oh, yeah. What I need to do is just tap that face, really. What have I got? Let's abuse some tools. I think that might be being successful. What I really might want to do is put that around there just to stop that from moving round, and tap from this side there. Can I arrange that, I wonder? Yeah. Okay. Can you see anything up there? And what I'm trying to do is there's a slotted washer here we need to undo. I don't want to move at all. Need a bigger hitting implement. Not really geared up for this, more a sort of delicate electronics job. But hey, what I can do to help out my friend Barry, I will do. How much abuse is this screwdriver going to take before the handle comes off? Oh, go on. That, my friends, is undoing. Now the spanner's in the way. You can see that on the top camera, this collar is now coming out. So how deep is it? Quite deep. Right, so there it is, sort of slotted washer there, threaded on the inside. That has come out, so now we should be able to push it out really. Let's just see if we can lift the thing out. No, still stubborn. Something else holding it together? I'm giving it a push. It's not keen. If we put that back on, we could maybe just tap that and see if it pushes it out. What you don't want to do is hit something with the threads on the end, because you'll damage the threads and then we'll be in a world of pain. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put that on there and see if I can't sort of hit on there with something just to get it to come apart. I'm sure there's an ex-employee of Servitool in Gloucester cringing at my amateur efforts. I need a punch of some description, don't I? What have I got? Oh, let's just abuse the tooling again. Doesn't appear to be moving one iota, does it? Right, okay. So all the windings, etc., and the switch, it's all contained in here, so it should just push apart. We get a motor in our hands and we'll be happy. Almost want to hold it. I'm going to hold it on the edge of the bench. I'm going to be off shot for a moment while I just put it on the edge of the bench and hit that bit. Yeah, that'll work. Try that. Bear with me. This could end in pain. Wow, that's actually worked. Oh, something smells horrible. Okay, I need to take the chuck nut collet thing back off. Okay, and we can take the motor away. Ooh, what have we got there? Right, that's obviously for the expanding legs and things. Right, what have we got? We've got a fan, got a bottom. So how does the fan fit on? Got more sawdust and crap. How is this fan fitted on? Is it screwed on? It appears to be on, so it's got two flats, one either side. So I'm expecting that to be just pushed on. Trouble is, it's vintage. If I strain on that too much, you can guarantee it'll break. Fact. Is that a crack? No, I don't think so. Oh, sawdust. Let's try and get a screwdriver on each side and just gently ease and see if that pops off. Which it does. Oh, beautiful. So, that's the fan coming off. There it is. Bottom piece. So we can now, obviously there would be that bottom. Where is the bottom bearing? That's there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's horrible as well. So we've got a horrible bottom bearing, we've got a horrible top bearing. Can I? No, just get that out. You can see the play now in this top bearing housing. Absolutely shot. So now I have got to take this out of the top bearing. If I support it either side and give it a smack, maybe it'll come through. But looking at how seized that's been, I've got a sneaking suspicion I'm going to be out of luck. So how am I going to get that out of there? Well, we could hit it and see what happens. Yeah, so I need to support that either end on something substantial. And the ordinary sort of supporting things we use in here are video cassettes, and that just isn't going to cut the mustard, isn't it? Oh, look at that. We've got a cable reel, steel insert. Put that in there, bash away on there until we're happy. What do we reckon? I am going to smack on the bottom of the windings though. I'll put that back in. Yeah, let's have a go at that, shall we? So that's the centerpiece. If you sort of auto punch it out. That puts a shock down things, doesn't it? Not a chance. It was worth a go. Right. How about the handle for my tap spanner and beat on the end of that? Biggest problem we've got here is all this look. I mean, you can see where it's been blue, it's been so hot. Give me something heavy to beat it with again. What we really want is a hammer. Stubborn. We're going to have to get that out of there, you know. What I need to make sure is that this hasn't worn through the rotating part of the motor, hasn't worn through the insulation on these windings. I'm actually a little bit worried about those there as well. See the copper showing through. It doesn't look burned though. It's just the bearing doesn't look very good. I mean, bearing looks abysmal, let's be honest. And I don't know whether you can hear this one in here as well, the bottom bearing. If I hold it up to my mic, maybe we will. That's like a bag of nails, that one. Right, let's go and get a proper hitting tool and I shall be right back. Okay. Right, I have off camera been and got a whacking stick. I've beat 7 bells out of that, it's not moving. So I wonder if we can slide this set of coils out. To disconnect the blue wire from there, I think. Yep, that just pulls out of there. If we slide those coils out, or this assembly out, I wonder if there's a clip retaining that bearing, and then it'll at least come out of the housing. Because at the moment, that thing is seized solid in there. Ooh, this isn't much better either. Ooh, right, okay, we're moving. Another long one. It's the longest of the lot so far, just so make a note for when I put it back together. Another gargantuan screw. So is that going to make the coils fall out? So I've got that retaining clip around it. So a lot of these things back in this sort of time frame, they're actually made to be repaired. But this I'm not so sure about. Was ELU a good brand? I mean, it's done well to last this long, let's be honest. I can sort of see there's an assembly sort of up to there, so let's give it a bit of encouragement. Ah, right, okay. Make note. Capacitor is sort of on that end. Oh, hello. That's the other end of that winding. Where did that connect to? Okay, there is a neutral wire goes in there. Alright, okay. I am still stuck with this bearing though, aren't I? We've got a date code on there. 03, 2003 maybe? Phone number's wrong on the side of the thing if that's the case. That's possible. Old sticker. Right, I've still got this bearing issue. I ain't quite sure how to solve it. I wonder if there's a clip on the bottom side of the bearing that's holding it in. And if that's the case, I wonder how you get to it. Well, let's beat it up some more, shall we? I want that piece. Oh, I don't have to worry about that piece now because the winding is there. Where's my tap spanner? Put that in the middle of that and beat it. Not happening, is it? There is a hell of a lot of play in there. Don't admit defeat. You see what you could do if this was on a car, you could heat all this up and then that would expand it and the shaft, if we were careful about it, would fall out. Of course we can't do that because we've got a load of heat damage where we don't want it already, and then the plastic housing will just disintegrate. There again, I'm worried about it disintegrating with me just whacking on it. Doesn't help that it's been so very, very hot. NSK bearing, made in England, good lord. Yeah. What to do? What to do?
One eternity later.
I wonder if a bit of the old chewing gum remover, just to freeze the centre, get it to contract, maybe make it to fall apart. I don't know. Worth a go, isn't it? If we can't heat it up, we'll cool it down. Not want to shift one iota, is it? Right, where is the miniature blow lamp? Try and just heat that centre outer race up. Freeze the centre with the chewing gum remover. Okay. Freezy, freezy. I feel the heat coming off it. Will that be enough to get it to shift? No is the answer. Still feel the heat coming off it, so. Oh, housing really ain't in good shape, is it? One last go at it. It's only got to start moving and it'll come. What I'm trying to do is cool the shaft whilst leaving the bearing outer fairly warm, sorry, so the outer expands and the inner contracts. So a little go at that again. Man alive. Just not wanting to move. Right, it's got that all damn cold. Now let's try and warm the outer bit up. Just thinking I can probably, yeah, there we go. Cool.
Pew, pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert Dibble Grub.
Now we've learnt something, haven't we? That freezer spray is flammable. Okay. Right, well that's warmed that up. Huh. Nearly a reaching for the fire extinguisher moment. There's something else going on here and all. That bearing is knurled. That was pushed in at manufacture. No wonder it's damaged the housing so much. You see the edge of the bearing there is actually got a knurled finish on it. Oh, it's not. It's the sleeve that the bearing's in. Ah, Barry, I'm sorry, mate. You need a new router. I'm going to sleep on it if I think of anything else. If not, yeah. Right, I'm going to end this bit of filming here, and I'm going to sleep on it and think of something else I can do. Right. Well, I've had a word with Barry, and Barry uses this professionally. I think he's had his money's worth out of it, hasn't he? But he's gone out and treated himself to a new one. So that's the end of this. I just can't get that bearing. It's just friction welded itself into the little knurled housing, and it's just not wanting to come out. So that's the end of that one. So yeah, there we go. The moral of the story is, of course, when you're attempting to freeze something, read the label on the can. Why I thought that wouldn't be flammable, I don't know, but a gross error on my part. Thankfully, I just had a shot actually as a fire extinguisher. It's always on hand in here, so if anything did get out of hand, it's a carbon dioxide extinguisher, so it's safe for use on even equipment that's running. So yeah, there we go. Like, subscribe, do all that rubbish, and I'll see you really soon here on Doz's Television Workshop. Cheers now, bye. Looking at this ELU woodworking router. It's a router and not a router. We're not American or whatever. Okay. Hello and welcome back to Doz's Television Workshop, where we don't know what the file number is. Hang on. It is